So here we have my slider joystick that's in current production and stocked. And this is a very popular stick because it does not tilt. It slides on an axis, which is really cool for users who need it. Now, a while ago, I was working on kind of a jumbo version, the plus version of this stick. It used a different mechanism, but I never really put this into production because I was not happy with the action. It kind of felt, it's good, but it felt a little too grindy for me, and I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to that. It's also kind of tall, especially when you consider the size of the regular slider. Well, I had a user who had seen the plus and the size of it, because it is bigger. This is 2 inches across. This is 1.5 inches across. And their particular need was one that I hadn't seen before, but it makes perfect sense. And that is, so many games require both left and right sticks. It is so frustrating for me to see so many solutions just use one. They solve one stick problem, but not the two stick problem. So in this particular user situation, they have movement in their head and their face, but that's pretty much it. So they need to be able to get at the joysticks and to manipulate more than one. And so I've been working on this proof of concept over here. And I didn't realize it was going to look so much like a bee, but there you are. That's what filament I had on the printers. So I took the size of the plus with the 2-inch diameter and put it into an enclosure that's not quite as tall because it's going to use a different sensor mechanism, and added on this crazy little setup to the disc. So what's the point of this? Well, the idea is to put a Joy-Con style stick here and then have the slider stick as usual, and then it will have a rubber pad like all my other stuff. With the idea that a user would put their chin on this surface to move one axis around, or one stick, I should say. Let's say this is left. So they would, move character forward, move character back, left, right, that sort of thing. And then use their mouth to access the Joy-Con stick to change the view, look left, look right, whatnot. And so what would happen is I could make this part small because I won't have a microcontroller in here. It'll have 4 or 5 leads that will go down into the main box. And then the main box will have 2 microcontrollers in it. One which would be managing the one stick, the slider, and the other which would be managing the Joy-Con. Why do I need 2? Because that's the way the Xbox Adaptive Controller works. You plug the left into left and right into right, so you need to have 2 separate boards, which is something I also had to do for my Joy-Con Dual. And then this is where the slider assembly is going to be, and it would be something like that. One thing, since we're moving a lot more mass around, and this is where it's still in the proof of concept stages, is the little joystick is probably not going to have enough spring strength to bring this whole thing back to center. So one of the things that I've experimented in the past is using some magnetic centering as an additional centering mechanism that gets built into the anti-spin mechanism. And the 2 magnets are set up so that they attract, so they want to pull together, so it wants to pull that to center. And then I'll probably have to use some low friction tape under the wheel, under the dial part, and to reduce friction there. I'm trying to think what else. So this is very, very early days. This is kind of proof of concept. Does this make any sort of sense to me, and can it be done with my hardware? I'm also thinking about alternate sensors for inside and alternate controllers for the Joy-Con. There are available, this is a Nintendo 3DS stick. It is also a sliding type of stick. It's a little more expensive, but it is very smooth. So this could be another option. Now, the reason to have these two in tandem is because as you move your chin forward, you don't want the distance to this stick to increase. You want it to stay constant. So that's kind of why they're tied together versus just having a stick here and a stick here. Now, we could very well have a stick here just permanent, not sliding, and a stick there not sliding. That may work also. Again, this is part of the experimentation and to figure out what's going to work, what gives the best feel, what's reliable, what's strong. Again, this is a prototype, so it's nowhere near as strong as I would want it to be. But that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is the initial thought on this, and we'll see where it goes from here.